I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You know what time it is. It's Netflix time. This movie's called The Wind. It's supposed to be a horror film, but I don't know if it's a psychological thriller or a drama, honestly, when I look at it. But spoiler alert, let's just get it. So we start off with this scene with these two guys are waiting on Lizzie to come out. She's all bloodied up with a baby in her hand. And from the look of her face in this scene, it ain't good. Turns out the baby died and they're holding a funeral. So the baby happened to be this lady named Emma, but it's like, whoa, why is the half of her brain blown the fuck out? Nevertheless, they bury her underground. Now, her husband Isaac's supposed to be going out for some supplies. He might not be back for a couple days. And she asks the question, how the hell did Emma get a hold of my gun? Which raises a lot of questions right off the bat, as Isaac and Gideon set out to get some supplies. Like he said, they're going to be gone for probably about a couple days. So the situation is like this. Lizzie and Isaac are a married couple. Gideon and Emma were a couple. So as Lizzie go back to clean off the table in her house, she has flashbacks of trying to deliver Emma's baby. How to go do that when she's not moving and the baby's not moving, I have no idea. But basically going by what I said earlier, you already know the results. So after she cleans up, she's hanging up clothes or laundry. While she's doing that, some fucking wolves pop up out of nowhere. I want you to keep in mind, they're in the middle of nowhere. So she's lucky to get back in the house, gets a shotgun. But when she's about to shoot again, she sees a shadowy figure covering up the top part of the door. Now clearly, wolves ain't that damn tall, so what the hell is covering up the top part? Then we get a flashback to her feeding goats. Isaac come back and tell Emma like, hey, we got some new neighbors. I mean, you tell Lizzie we got new neighbors. And back then, this is their first time meeting Gideon and Emma. So she tells her there's a cabin they can stay in. It's about a good 20 feet down the road. But they can see it from their house. Back in present time, Lizzie goes outside the house. And she sees she ain't shoot any wolves. She shot a damn sheep. Or a goat. She never cleaned up or nothing. She just went on about her business. Then we get a flashback of Lizzie and Emma again. And she's just so grateful to be in the presence of Lizzie and Isaac. Later on, Isaac is over here giving Lizzie the business as he should because they husband and wife. Later on, he goes to smoke a pipe, checking on the neighbors. As you can see the light on in the distance. Lizzie thinks there's something off about Emma, but she tells him to come to bed so she don't get cold. Later on, they go to check on the neighbors and see if they need any help. They're doing a little bit of digging and stuff for crops. Lizzie tells Emma to get some water for everybody. Isaac can drink his own cup. Why you gotta feed it to him like that? Lizzie looking like, alright, what the fuck is this? But she makes sure Gideon drinks his own cup. You know, she's like, yeah, when we doing all that shit with my husband, like, what the fuck? He can drink his own goddamn cup. So anyway, they sit by the tree and they start talking about all this satanic stuff for some reason. Emma keeps talking about there's something off with his land. She says something just doesn't feel right. Now I want you to keep in mind this tree they're sitting by has an S by it. Now what does that S stand for? Back in real time, Lizzie goes back out there straightening out the clothes and stuff. In the process of doing that, she finds a dead bird. But when she goes back over towards the house, she goes back over and sees a fucking goat. Wow, they're trying to really indicate that's the same goat that she killed earlier. Really? So that's what we're supposed to believe, huh? Alright. So she says, fuck that shit. She gets her gun instead of shoots it again. Then we get a flashback to Lizzie and Isaac sleeping and getting disturbed by the door. Gideon comes to the door and says something wrong with Emma and says she's very sick. Or she's not well or something like that. So Lizzie goes to check on her and she's hiding under the bed. Apparently, she said a spirit's trying to get her and we find out she's pregnant. She thinks the spirit's gonna take her baby. She's being all hysterical and whatnot. She's not trying to come out the bed, so Lizzie's like, fuck all this. I'm about to chloroform her ass and make sure she gets on the bed. She knocks her out and tells Gideon to tie her up on the bed or something. She's being hysterical. When they get back to the house, they was like, yo, she was speaking in tongues and shit while she was talking to her. Then back in real time, Lizzie goes through this treasure chest full of what appears to be Emma's stuff and a bunch of trinkets and books. Then we get another flashback back to Lizzie and Emma. And she's pretty much calmed down now, at least for the time being. She starts talking about more satanic scriptures and whatnot. Lizzie's like, cut that bullshit out, the boys are coming back. Then while she has this Bible in front of her, she has this packets of demons on a prairie type shit. It was inside the Bible for some reason. The demons on a prairie pamphlet was inside of one of Emma's books. But why is Lizzie so surprised that she has it? Then we get to a scene where Lizzie's pregnant. Wait, when the fuck did this happen? Then while she's in the house, she thought she heard the door knock twice and she answered it and nobody answered the door. Then all of a sudden the wind came through so strong it blew out all the candles, all the lights, everything. She starts quoting Bible quotes as she's trying to get a match lit. Then all of a sudden the fireplace lights up out of nowhere. The door swings wide open, but nobody's there. Then the next day we see Isaac come back home. Lizzie's upstairs doing incantations in her head. Isaac checks on her to make sure she's good. Then we get back downstairs. Isaac finds the demon on the prairie pamphlet and tosses that crap straight into the fire. He keeps saying that bullshit you saw ain't real, it ain't life. Only thing he needs is this gun. Anything comes out, spirits like that, shoot it. Now, he don't believe his demons or nothing like that, but he just wants her to be well protected. So I guess that was even a further flashback because that was when she first got her gun, and now we go back to real time. Now, she sees the lights come on in the distance at the Gideon Emma house, but I don't think she thinks that anybody's there, so she's like, nah, we gotta investigate this shit. So we find out Gideon left the moment Emma died, so she's thinking to herself, like, who the fuck just turned on the lights? She doesn't see anybody there, she starts tossing shit around, breaking pillows, asking the demon where is it. Just a bunch of madness. When she turns around, what the fuck is that, Emma? Then we get a flashback to when Emma was in the bed, pregnant and whatnot. And she was shouting out all these satanic names, so she was trying to think of names for the baby. She told Lizzie if it was a girl, she's gonna name her Elizabeth, but she told her if it was a boy, she was gonna name her Isaac. But she started spouting off these weird satanic names before she even got there. In real time, we find her waking up back at Gideon's house. But while she's walking back to the house, what the fuck is this house? Emma following, she's supposed to be dead. She starts reading Emma's diary that she picked up, and it gives her this weird suspicion that the baby Emma's carrying might be Isaac's. But she gets those thoughts out of her head quick, like, man, fuck out of here. Isaac ain't doing no shit like that. So then she ethers herself and falls asleep. Then we flash back to the time when Lizzie was pregnant and she's about to have her baby. Unfortunately, the baby didn't survive. And Isaac dug the grave for her right by the tree. Wait, what? By the same fucking tree they was sitting at. So the S actually stood for Samuel. So this is a flashback of a flashback. She was having her baby before she even met Gideon and Emma. Man, that's some wild shit. And she ends up burying a Bible with her baby. So then we get back into real time again. She almost ends up shooting some guy in the window, but it turns out to be a reverend. She fed him and told him to stay in the cabin down the street. She didn't want him being out during nightfall. The strange things happen out here. So he appreciates the hospitality and he's welcomed there. Nightfall comes, she gets a knock at the door. The reverend's scared as hell. He thought somebody's creeping up in the house or whatever like that, so he came back over here. And as he's talking, he's going on blabbing. Then he says something about Emma. I'm like, how the fuck would you know Emma? The cat's out the bag. Oh shit, his eyes start turning black. He's got the demon in him. What the fuck is this? She escapes out the house, runs to the other house, locks the door, and just chills out there. Next day, she goes back to the house. And for some particular reason, the reverend's laid out on the ground somewhere, dead as shit. How'd this happen? When she goes back to the house, at the front of the door is the Bible that she buried with her baby. Who the fuck dug it up? Who knew to dug it up? She ain't taking no chances. She in the tub with the shotgun right next to her. Then she goes over to the tree. And she's at the point where she's about to blow her own fucking brains out. Like, what the fuck? But right before she does that, she sees her husband Isaac in the distance. Isaac's back home. So at this point, she's thinking to herself, the reverend could be possessed. He probably can too. He's like, look, it's me. Don't worry about it. Everything okay? We good? She's pretty much traumatized at this point. Then he said something about seeing the reverend on the way home. I'm like, oh, that's fucking impossible. He said that Lizzie was very hospitable. And I'm thinking to myself, that's bullshit. Because the reverend died this morning, and last night he didn't go anywhere. He went straight to where Gideon used to live at. So how the hell could Isaac seen him in between today and yesterday? But throughout all that, during the day, they get some of the stuff out of Gideon's house and move it into their house. Afterwards, she slept for a long time. Isaac comes into the room and says he got a surprise for her. And that's when he gives her this treasure chest. But wait, didn't she already have this treasure chest? Yeah, it had books in it and all that stuff, but whoa, what the fuck is that over there? Demons of the prey, what the fuck? Could have sworn Isaac put that shit in the fire, right? The crazy thing is, inside that pamphlet were all of the names that Emma was listing when she was talking about baby names. All the satanic names that she was thinking about. Then we get to a point where the husband finds the pamphlet and Isaac's like, yo, what the fuck? I thought I burnt this shit. He gets into a heavy argument. And he's getting tired of her believing in all these little random ass stuff that's happening in these events. So he's gonna go outside to prove to her that there's nothing out there. But when she goes to follow him, Emma pops up at the door. What the fuck? Then she goes to get a gun. The windows blow out. The back of her was like, what the fuck? Down the blue, she sees the priest. What the heck is going on? The reverend. The wind lifted her up in the air. She fell back into the ground. Ended up getting stabbed with some damn scissors. I guess she must have passed out because next thing we know, she's in the bed. And all of a sudden, we think Emma's talking to her like, what the heck is going on around here? But really, it's Isaac talking to her. And he thinks she's going crazy, so he tied her arms and legs up to the bed. Then he's trying to figure out how did Emma get a hold of the gun. Then we get this backstory how they was chilling out by the tree at night. While that's going on, she's trying to get a piece of glass to cut herself free while her husband Isaac has turned his back. Then we see this shadow coming out of nowhere consuming the walls. Then Isaac's eyes start turning crazy. Oh no, the demons are having him. What the fuck is this? Then we find out in the flashback, Lizzie's the one that actually shot Emma and blew half her head off. What the fuck? She got herself free, and she ends up stabbing her own husband in the neck with that piece of glass she had in her hand. She killed him, dead as shit. And as she's walking out the cabin, she ends up just collapsing on the grass. Then we get a flashback to when she must have first met the Reverend before all of this. He was trying to give her a Bible, but he ends up giving her a pamphlet too. The Demons of the Prairie pamphlet. What the fuck? So does this mean she knew all about this right from the get-go? If she believed everything from the pamphlet, why would she let the Reverend in the first place? I got so many damn questions. Then she starts thinking about things her husband was talking about as she's supposed to be sitting on a bed out there. But she's really not. She's just sitting in the grass. Okay, in retrospect, it's supposed to be a horror film, but this could easily be a psychological thriller / drama. My thing is, why'd you kill Emma? Did you think she was possessed the whole time? And even that's bullshit because the Reverend was the one that gave you the pamphlet in the first place. What evil spirit did you really see creeping around the area? Were the Reverend's eyes and Isaac's eyes really glowing? Because I think kindly, that's some bullshit. Especially if she's going around shooting niggas. Did she really shoot a goat, or was all this in her imagination to begin with? Throw a window on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Click these, y'all, easy best. Big. Could have got this slogan.